Hello again, everyone. Edwin Learnard back once again. In this YouTube astrological segment, I'm going to be giving you my Pisces September 2018 horoscope forecast. And yes, this does apply and pertain to the Sun, Moon, and Ascendant. Anyway, first thing up is as far as September goes, the Sun will be in Virgo from the 1st until the 22nd. So the 7th house is what will be emphasized and highlighted. So at this time, there could be a strong concentration of energy, focus, and attention on relationships, others in general. It could be partnerships like business partnerships, the grandmother even, open adversaries, compromise, negotiation, legal matters. And given that this is Virgo energy, this could be done perhaps with a lot of Virgo-like meticulous attention to detail, very methodical manner, systematic, organized, done very perfunctorily, but yet somewhat worrisome and pensive. And if you're going through some battles with some open adversaries or some legal issues, they might become very worrisome at this time, and there might be, unfortunately, a strong focusing on worrying on those matters. Now, also this energy, these 7th house matters could be done perhaps with a lot of judgmental and critical energy, and especially perhaps with the people, your significant other, if applicable, the grandmother perhaps, and even others just in general. So anyway, next thing up is the Sun will be in Libra as far as September goes from the 22nd until the 30th. So the 8th house is what will be emphasized and highlighted at this time. There could be a strong concentration of energy, attention, and focus on transformation, crisis issues, insurance, taxes, and inheritance, perhaps emotional and moral, even monetary support, psychology, it could be psychological issues, astrology, the supernatural, the occult perhaps, and even matters pertaining to death and regeneration and rebirth. Now, given that this is Libra energy, this could be done with a lot of Libra-like balance and fairness, a very equitable manner, dispersing energy very evenly, perhaps among a number of 8th house matters. Could be done with a lot of tact and diplomacy, especially matters connected with someone you may be in an intimate or sexual relationship with, or someone you're in some kind of shared resources situation with. Now, also, too, could be done with a lot of bouncing ideas off others, weighing and balancing the pros and cons of things, and done with intellectual sociability. But you may be doing this in a rather relaxed manner, though, as well, and perhaps with a lot of ambivalence and indecisiveness. So anyway, next thing up is there will be a new moon in Virgo on September 9th. So the 7th house is what will be emphasized and highlighted. So at this time, well, this may signify perhaps beginning a new health regime with a significant other, or just collaborating with someone on this. It could be some kind of new diet you may do with another, start with another person, or perhaps even it could be the beginning, in some cases, a new period of detail-oriented and analytical negotiations. I would say maybe more detail-oriented, but also, too, this could be a time where you may embark on a new relationship with a Virgo Sun, Moon, or Ascendant person, or simply one that embodies Virgo-like characteristics. It could be some new Virgo-like thing you collaborate on with somebody, such as something connected with health, nutrition, pro-organizing. It could be something where you're working with a lot of statistical information or data, extrapolation of data. And anyway, and unfortunately in some cases, this could also be the beginning of a new worrisome legal matter in some cases, and maybe even maybe a new Virgo open adversary. Could be a Virgo Sun, Moon, or Ascendant, or simply one that embodies Virgo-like characteristics. So anyway, next thing up is there will be a full moon in Aries on September 24th. So the 2nd house is what will be emphasized and highlighted at this time. Well, you may simply become tired, exasperated, or full, perhaps of perhaps a person at the place you generate income with that might be overly acerbic, acrimonious, combative, even perhaps egocentric or self-centered. And it could be, too, in another way this could manifest, it could be the completion or culmination of an Aries-like money-making venture. It could be something such as sports or working as an EMT, welding, something that could be Aries, like something that you had a strong leadership role in, perhaps. And also, too, this could also be about putting very full, aggressive, and assertive energy and with a lot of enterprise into perhaps improving resources, possessions, even your self-worth and self-esteem. And also, too, in some cases, when you have a full moon, this could be about a revelation or unveiling. And this could be maybe somebody that may be prominent in your resources, your possessions. It could be someone that might be overly egocentric or self-centered or acerbic or even a warmongering type person. And anyway. Well, the next thing up is that Mercury will be in Leo as far as September goes from the 1st until the 6th. So the 6th house is what will be emphasized and highlighted. So at this time, you might find yourself boasting and bragging about work-related matters, work accomplishments, and health accomplishments at this time, and perhaps even speaking with a lot of authority on 6th house matters, such as health, such as your work life. It could be maybe in matters that are connected with service or even boasting and bragging about them. Now again, that Mercury can also be about siblings. It's not just about communication. So this could be something where Leo siblings might figure more prominently in your daily routine, your health life, your work, and your service. As well at this time. They could be Leo, Sun, Moon, Ascendant people, or simply ones that embody Leo-like characteristics. Now, another thing is you might find yourself talking more generously about aunts with aunts and uncles, and thinking with more extroversion, about being more extroversion with 6th house people, such as an aunt or an uncle, people that are prominent in your daily routine. It could also be people that are at your workplace, or maybe figure strongly in your health life, such as people you may know at a health and fitness center. So anyway. Well, the next thing up is Mercury will be in Virgo as far as September goes from the 6th until the 22nd. So the 7th house is what will be emphasized and highlighted. So at this time, you might find yourself very engrossed in detail-oriented, analytical communications with a grandmother, a significant other, and just others in general. You might find yourself involved with more critical and judgmental communications with these people as well. And again, going back to the fact that Mercury can also be about siblings. This could be where Virgo siblings might figure more prominently in legal matters, and in some cases, could they become open adversaries given as the 7th house? Perhaps, but they may actually be of assistance to you in matters connected with open adversaries, or maybe dealing with legal situation. They can be Virgo, Sun, Moon, or Ascendant people, or simply ones that embody Virgo-like characteristics. Now, you might find yourself in more worrisome, pensive thinking regarding legal matters at this time. So anyway, the next thing up is Mercury will be in Libra as far as September goes, from the 22nd until the 30th. So the 8th house is what will be emphasized and highlighted. At this time, you might find yourself having more balanced communications with someone you may be in an intimate or sexual relationship with, and also giving what you feel maybe as you're thinking about giving your fair amount of moral support to somebody, and also could be about thinking over weighing the pros and cons mentally over a shared resources situation. And again, as I've stated before, that Mercury can also be about siblings. So this could be where you may find a Libra sibling might factor in more in a crisis or transformation a situation with you. This could be a Libra Sun, Moon, Ascendant, or Ascendant people, or simply ones that embody Libra-like characteristics. It could be where if this could also be, perhaps you might be experiencing some ambivalence and indecision over making a major transformation, or other 8th house matters, such as maybe issues over insurance. Perhaps it could be over taxes, something that could be 8th house related. So anyway, and also too, and really this is a time too where you might find yourself speaking with a lot more tact and diplomacy with someone you're in a sexual or intimate relationship with, or someone that you may be in some shared resources situation with. So anyway, next thing up is Venus will be in Libra as far as September goes, from the 1st until the 9th. So the 8th house is what will be emphasized and highlighted. At this time, you may find yourself valuing peace, tranquility, and tact and diplomacy in an intimate or sexual relationship. It could be also another way this may manifest is that if you're unattached Pisces, that you may connect with a Libra Sun, Moon, or Ascendant person, or simply one that embodies Libra-like characteristics in like an 8th house venue. It could be at some astrology group, for example, or maybe some place where you're getting your taxes done at a tax examiner's place or an insurance place, something that could be 8th house related. And also too, you might find yourself valuing fairness more in matters connected with shared resources, and you may find yourself enjoying playing like Libra-like games with someone you're in a sexual or intimate relationship with. It could be something like a Law and Order game or People's Court, something that may be Libra-like. So anyway, and also too, this is where you might be valuing and actually enjoying an equal give and take as far as moral, emotional, even monetary support at this time. Anyway, the next thing up is Venus will be in Scorpio as far as September goes, from the 9th until the 30th. So the 9th house is what will be emphasized and highlighted. So at this time, this could be about rather secretive and private spending, perhaps on in-laws, grandchildren. If you are unattached at this time, Pisces, you might find yourself connecting with the Scorpio Sun, Moon, or Ascendant person, or simply one that embodies Scorpio-like characteristics. It could be at a religious congregation, a foreigner, someone you may meet traveling abroad, maybe in a college, university. And also, too, this is where you may value at this time really having maybe a very deep philosophy, and really where another way this could manifest perhaps is the enjoyment of Scorpio-like games with in-laws and grandchildren. It could be something doing some of the Ouija board, or playing like some kind of like a mystery or Sherlock Holmes or detective-like game, or even doing something Scorpio, something of enjoyment, such a name. I mean, it could be going out with a metal detector and trying to find missing coins, or something that could be Scorpio related one way or another. So anyway, and it could be a time too where you're really more into very non-superficial relationships, ones that are very provocative, and it could be ones that you may meet through perhaps traveling abroad. It might be somebody at some religious congregation, or maybe even somebody that you may know, connect with it at a college or university. So anyway, or traveling abroad. So anyway, next thing up. The next thing up is that Mars will be in Capricorn as far as September goes, from the 1st until the 10th. So the 11th house is what will be emphasized and highlighted at this time. Well, you may find yourself in more acrimonious, contentious situations with friends, with acquaintances at this time. There might be arguments could be with stepchildren if applicable, with friends, acquaintances, people in groups, over authority issues. It could be over matters pertaining to responsibilities to the government. It could be arguments over politics. And also, on a positive note, though, this can manifest perhaps in injecting a lot of consistent, disciplined energy in groups and friendships and clubs as well. Could be energy into political organizations at this time. And you may see, given that this is really about having a lot of that regimented and consistent type energy in 11th house matters, and also putting a lot of energy into really methodically maybe pursuing your really matters connected with your future as well. And if you're unattached at this time, Pisces, you may, it's possible you might connect with, as far as having like a sexual connection with a Capricorn sun, moon, or ascendant, or simply one that embodies Capricorn-like characteristics. It could be an older person at perhaps at some kind of group, or could be a club or organization, or maybe someone that a friend introduces you to. So anyway, next thing up is as far as September goes, Mars will be in Aquarius from the 10th until the 30th. So the 12th house is what will be emphasized and highlighted. At this time, well, you might become angry perhaps at some idiosyncratic, bizarre, unusual behavior for people prominent in your private life. It could be an aunt or an uncle perhaps. This is also about maybe having some unusual or very spontaneous, extemporaneous private battles at this time. You might find that your energy, given you're talking about the 12th house, might be, not just, given it's Aquarius, it could be sporadic and erratic, but it could also be somewhat depleted, your vitality and energy at this time. Another way this could manifest perhaps is unusual, angry, acrimonious outbursts. Could be yourself undoing at this time. But on a positive note, this could manifest perhaps in a lot of humanitarian, selfless energy into helping those less fortunate than yourself, such as the impoverished, the oppressed, the hungry, and the homeless. So anyway, and also about putting maybe a lot of perhaps Aquarius-like energy in solitude and seclusion. It could be doing something with innovation, computers, electronics, aerospace. Even if you have, like, say, a hobby like model rocketry, it could be something like that, or anything that, or astronomy. So anyway, next thing up is Jupiter will still be in Scorpio, so the 9th house is what will be emphasized and highlighted. So at this time, you might find yourself, I've talked about, as far as Jupiter previously, that it can be paradoxical. It's very strongly benign and benevolent, but it could also have a tendency to enlarge and expand. And it could very well expand and enlarge surreptitious, nefarious, manipulative behavior even, from in-laws, from grandchildren. It could be people you know at a religious congregation, or even somebody you know at a college, university. But also, though, it could be very fortuitous for transformation of philosophies at this time. And also, too, this could be about putting a lot of enthusiasm and exuberance into Scorpio-like things with in-laws and grandchildren. It could be doing something with astrology, supernatural, the occult, something with some kind of investigation or mystery solving. So it could be something that could be Scorpio-related, locksmithing even. So, and also this could be very fortunate for going beyond superficiality and subterfuge in matters with grandchildren, in-laws, people at a religious congregation. It could be foreigners traveling abroad, and also a positive period for perhaps unveiling secrets over false doctrines, and about maybe adopting a very profound philosophy connected with higher education. So And also perhaps very lucky for something Scorpio related for as far as publishing goes, such as something with locksmithing involved. It could be astrology, the occult, supernatural, something that might be connected with death, even something maybe a mystery book, something that could be Scorpio related. Hold on a second, people. Sorry about that. Anyway, next thing up is Saturn will be in Capricorn. As far as it will still be in Capricorn, I should say. So the 11th house is what will be emphasized and highlighted at this time. Well, you might find yourself experiencing restrictions and limitations, perhaps with your goals, aspirations, maybe in matters with friends at this time might be making you feel somewhat despondent or melancholy. This could also be a time where you might be taking care of a sickly or debilitated stepchild, if applicable. It could be a friend, an acquaintance, someone you know in some group outlet. It could be over something Capricorn related, such as something with the knees, the bones, or the joints. And it could be doing something, perhaps doing something with the government, working laboriously on something government related, and it could be with friends, it could be something group related. And older people might figure prominently in your aspirations and goals at this time. It could be about getting structure and discipline in those things as well. And two, I mean, when you look at them, when you look at Saturn, it could be something where you might be trying to attain a position of authority as an aspiration or goal as well at this time. So anyway, well, the next thing up is Uranus will be in Taurus still, so the third house is what will be emphasized and highlighted. So at this time, well, one way this may manifest perhaps is perhaps dealing with unusual persistence and stubbornness and obstinacy from siblings, cousins, neighbors. This could be a time where you might come up with ideas very spontaneously and extemporaneously. They might come very quickly and just kind of out of the blue, unpredictably. And it could be a time, too, where Taurus friendships may factor in strongly, perhaps in some of your ideas. I mean, maybe they help you figure out certain things and come up with some ideas. They might be more in your thoughts at this time. Perhaps they're become more involved in short journeys, your communications in general. They could be Taurus, Sun, Moon, or Ascendant people, or simply ones that embody Taurus-like characteristics. And it could be a time, too, where you might find yourself where you're thinking with a lot more ingenuity and perhaps even writing about something Uranus related. It could be something connected with computers, electronics, the future, something futuristic. Could be something connected with like aerospace, astrology, something innovative. So anyway, well, the next thing up is, well, Neptune will still be in Pisces, so the first house is what will be emphasized and highlighted. So at this time, where you might find yourself at this time, Pisces, perhaps you might feel, especially if this is the actual first house in one's natal chart, that your vitality and energy might be dissipating and dissolving at this time. Be very careful at this time regarding drugs and alcohol. You might feel that, you might be feeling maybe too lethargic to embark on new beginnings. It might be because of an energy drainage. Your vitality, again, may be dissipating, feel like it's dissipating, dissolving. But at the same time, on a positive end, this may manifest in some Neptune like new beginnings. It could be something connected with the metaphysical, such as astrology, something spiritual, photography, chemistry, something with special effects. It could be doing some work as a magician, or poetry or dancing, something Neptune related. But you might feel that your outlook on life right now is some little bit nebulous at this time. You might find yourself being more distracted easier, and people might see you as more nebulous as far as the first impression they get of you. I mean, Pisces alone can be somewhat nebulous, I think, on a first impression. I mean, because, I mean, Pisces, again, as I've stated previously in other videos, I mean, the theories, and I concur with it, some may agree, some may not, they're like the amalgamation of the previous 11 signs. So they are a little bit nebulous anyway, but this could even intensify that, since we're talking about Neptune. So anyway, next thing up is Pluto will be in Capricorn. As far as, I mean, we'll still be in Capricorn, I should say. So the 11th house is what will be emphasized and highlighted at this time. Well, I know a lot of you don't want me to say the dreaded D word, but you know I'm going to anyway. What could the way this, one way this could manifest in some cases, this could be an actual literal death of a stepchild, if applicable. It could be a friend, an acquaintance, somebody you know well in a group, club, or organization. You might feel at this time too that there might be some where you feel like your future is basically destroyed or obliterated, but remember that Pluto is about rebirth and regeneration. If you go through a period where you feel, you know, this Pluto energy, where you feel, you know, your future might be destroyed, or maybe some matters with a club, group, or organization may be, well, or even matters with friends and acquaintances, that Pluto, again, is about rebirth and regeneration. What Pluto may destroy, also it can be supplanted with Pluto energy, is how I see it. So anyway, also be careful about obsessive or compulsive behavior with friends and acquaintances, and manipulative behavior with them as well. Another way this can manifest is perhaps getting you wanting power and control over your future at this time. And also be wary of power struggles with acquaintances and friends at this time, and even grandchildren if applicable. So anyway, next thing up is the North Node will still be in Leo. So the 6th house is what will be emphasized and highlighted. Now, when you're talking about the North Node, this could be about issues one may have to address or confront. And this could be maybe having to confront perhaps an arrogant, bombastic, domineering, flamboyant, even overbearing. Perhaps it could be an aunt or an uncle, someone you may know well in your daily routine, someone prominent in your work or your health life, or somebody you may have been giving service to, and of some kind. And also, too, this could be about being directed toward taking pride and dignity in really in your health, your pride in your health, the service that you do for somebody. Perhaps it could be over maybe just it could be over something just perhaps with something connected with your daily routine. It could also be as well, another way this could manifest is about maybe having to be maybe more generous and magnanimous in 6th house matters, such as with an aunt or an uncle. It could be maybe in your work life to some degree. It could even be maybe showing this maybe toward a pet if you have one. Another thing too is that you may be being directed toward getting more attention, recognition, being lauded and praised for work-related achievements, things you've done with your health and the service to others. And also too, in some cases, this could be about being really having to address perhaps issues, confront issues regarding your health. It could be something Leo related, such as something with the upper back or the heart. So anyway, next thing up is the Black Moon Lilith will still be in Aquarius. So the 12th house is what will be emphasized and highlighted. So as far as this goes, well, the Black Moon Lilith can be about what could put one in a strong state of fear or trepidation. Now, this could be about perhaps losing freedom and independence over one's private life, losing maybe that ability to show selflessness and humanitarianism toward those that are less fortunate than oneself, such as the impoverished, the hungry, the oppressed. It could also be, when we're talking about the Black Moon Lilith, this could be in some cases a formidable Aquarius adversary may be unveiled. In some cases, it could be an Aquarius sun, moon, or ascendant, or simply one that embodies Aquarius-like characteristics. Could be in the form of an aunt or an uncle, someone in your private life. And given that this is the house associated with hidden adversaries, this is somebody that may have been hidden perhaps for some time and really just comes out of the dark, so to speak, and really might be very, Aquarius energy could also be very shocking as well. So, and also too, when you're talking about the black moon wealth, it could also be something where the way this can manifest is that something that becomes unveiled and revealed that you didn't want to come out of the bag, so to speak, but it does come out anyway. Now, this could be something where it could be an unusual or bizarre mental illness that comes out that you didn't want someone to know about, or some unusual fear, such as phobia, which I believe is the actual fear of having a phobia. So it could be something that something like that may come out. And also too, you might be dealing with some kind of very strong, bizarre, unusual, or idiosyncratic behavior, perhaps from someone in your private life. It could be an aunt or an uncle. This could also maybe be somebody in a 12th house type venue, so to speak, such as somebody with a metaphysical, somebody in spirituality that's very spiritual. It could be someone like in photography or chemistry, something that could be somebody that works in prison, somebody that's 12th house related. Anyway, next thing up is Chiron will be in Aries as far as September goes, from the 1st until the 26th. So the second house is what will be emphasized and highlighted. So at this time, well, one way this may manifest, given Chiron is about emotional and sometimes physical wounds too. This could be about dealing with some emotional suffering, perhaps maybe connected with lack of enterprise and initiative over matters pertaining to finances, money, maybe not capitalizing on money-making opportunities. It could be dealing with somebody maybe that's very acerbic, acrimonious, somebody overly self-centered or egocentric at the place you generate income with. This could be maybe over battles regarding your resources and possessions, contentious situations, and also maybe contentious situations not just with people maybe connected with those, but maybe at the place you generate income with as well. And also about not maybe taking action, maybe to do things improving one's self-esteem, such as maybe doing something exercise related as an example. But remember that Chiron is the wounded healer. So in ways that you might be struggling and suffering in connection with this Chiron energy, you may be able to help others out, deal with comparable situations, and do so with a lot of areas like enterprise, initiative, assertiveness, and aggressiveness, and courage and fortitude. Last but not least, Chiron will be in Pisces as far as September goes, from the 26th until the 30th. So the first house is what will be emphasized and highlighted. So at this time, well, this could be, again, Chiron could be about emotional, sometimes physical wounds. Now, the first house, to me, this could be about physical wounds that could be connected with the toes, the feet, the lymphatic system. There might be some kind of energy drainage that you may be having difficulty dealing with at this time. It also could be about maybe dealing with deceptive or duplicitous behavior from someone you knew in your early childhood. It could also be about going through some emotional suffering due to perhaps ambivalence and very strong ambivalence, confusion, and indecision regarding maybe new beginnings that you may want to try to embark on and start. But also perhaps even dealing with alcohol or drugs in some cases, isolated cases perhaps. But anyway, again, Chiron is the wounded healer, so in the ways you might be struggling and suffering in connection with this Chiron and Pisces and first house energy, you could help others out with comparable issues, and do so with a lot of Pisces like empathy, compassion, self-sacrifice, and even idealism. Anyway, people, That'll conclude this YouTube astrological segment for my Pisces September 2018 horoscope forecast. Stay tuned next time where I'll be giving you my Aries October 2018 horoscope forecast. Two things I want to get with you on before I head out. Firstly, the stars may impel but do not compel. And secondly, never isolate any single astrological element, aspect, planetary placement, position, configuration, influence, or what have you, and make an analysis of a person astrologically speaking based on this alone, because astrologically speaking, the person is the sum of all their components in their natal chart and not just one. Until next time, people, stay well.